Are you stuck in middle class? Do you feel like you are working really hard but are getting nowhere financially? Do you know any ways to get yourself out of middle class? If you know some, drop them in the comments. But if you don't, stick around for this video and we're going to talk about it. Let's get into the podcast. What's up, guys? It's your boy Ty, and I appreciate you guys coming to check me out on the podcast. Wherever you're catching this at, be that YouTube, Facebook, Apple, Spotify, I'm all over the board. I appreciate y'all taking the time out of your day to stop through. And my channel is all about making sure people are aware of the different avenues to get a piece of the pie. I like to have these money talks, these talks about finance, talks about investing, talks about passive income, so we can all, maybe spark something in someone or learn a little bit. Because at the end of the day, as I said, I want everybody to be able to get that piece of the pie. And a lot of times we just got to have these talks to, refresh ourselves or bring something to the forefront of your mind. All right, today we're going to be talking about middle class. I know a lot of people are in middle class. Me, myself, I'm in middle class. I'm not even going to lie like I'm high class or nothing like that. I'm working my way towards it, and you guys can be too. And, because of that, I like to talk about it. The more you talk about it and talk about where you're going to be, what you're going to do, the more likely you're going to land there. So you got to make sure that you keep positivity and your future in your foresight. That's why today, again, we're going to be talking about middle class. And as I said, I'm middle class and I work around a lot of people, and sometimes me, myself too, you can feel like you're working very hard. You clocking in them overtime hours, you putting in a whole lot of work, you getting a promotion, and then it still feels like you like 3 or 4 checks away from, not making it, right? Or you can feel like, dang, I gotta keep doing this and I'm never gonna really build that wealth or get out of middle class. That's why some people call middle class the trap, because once you're there, you have to continue to work there. So to me, it's my opinion, you got low class, middle class, and of course the rich. Is no in between. So of course the people in low class, poor people, they're poor, they're unfortunate, but the ones that do rise up to get a little job or something like that, they eventually instantly become middle class. But I can say something about the poor class. A lot of people like to talk bad about the poor class, and a lot of people are poor, at least in the US, and they want to be there, so they ain't working as hard because the government takes care of them and things like that. But I'm pretty sure no one chooses to be poor. So I'm not one of those that think like that. But, at the end of the day, it's very hard too for someone to elevate out of that poor class if they don't have the right foundation. I think that's what it's all about when it comes to that, having that right foundation, being that work ethic, that did you graduate, just having that right foundation. So when you land that first job, it has benefits. It has, because honestly, to get out of that, you just got to land that job, especially in the US, that job that, pays well, has benefits, things like that. Because the statistics say poor class is anyone that makes below $32,000 a year. $32,000, man, you can work almost anywhere and almost clear that 32,000. You don't even have to work. You can work part-time. Some places, depends on how much they pay you, you can beat that 32,000. So, when we talk about the poor, it's the people that aren't even making that for whatever reason, whatever circumstances. Everyone is different out here, and every situation is different, So That's what poor class is. But when you do land that good job, elevate, they say low middle class is around $53,000 a year. That's low middle. You see, it went low middle quick, right? So anywhere between $32,000 and that $53,000. Around that, you're middle class, you're low middle class. And then you have middle class. I don't know why they break it up like this, but hey, that's how they break it up. You have regular middle class who income household, and I'm talking about household income. So 2 people and 1 child. 2 people and 1 child. That's what these statistics are based on. So a household that brings in between $53,000 and $106,000 is considered middle class. Anywhere in between that, that's middle class. And then you have the upper middle class. And from here, that household brings in from that $106,000 to $373,000. So that's a big spread right there, right? And then from that, anything above 373 is considered the rich, the wealthy. So that's how they break it down. So let me know where you think where you fall at. What class are you? But anyway, you can let me know in the comments if you want to share that information. So how do we get out of the middle class? I stumbled across an article by RLT Finance, which is titled Escape the Middle Class. And we're going to go over some of the steps in this article. I'm going to give you guys my take on these steps, but we can pull a little bit from this article. I like this article. So from this article, Escape the Middle Class, they broke it down into 7 steps. Step 1, change your mindset. Change your mindset. Stop thinking like a worker bee. So if you constantly only think about clocking in every day and going to work for someone, you're going to do that for the rest of your life. You're going to keep going, and you see how large that middle class range is. You, even with a couple promotions, you still will never really get past a certain ceiling, because when you're working for someone else is determining your value. That's what it is that's what's going on when you work for someone. When you work for someone, the business, the company, they determine what your salary should be. They determine how much you should get paid. And even if you get a lot of raises, even if you go and get a couple promotions, it's still, every position has a ceiling. So you will always make whatever the company thinks you should make. And you guys can see how large that middle class is. More than likely, even with 2 promotions, I know at my job, even if I got 2 promotions right now, I would still be in middle class. You see what I'm saying? And some people work their whole career and might get 2 or 3 promotions in their career, and they'll still be in the same class. Depends on where you fall. I just know me. If I got 2 promotions right now, tomorrow, I would still be in middle class. So you got to change your mindset from just thinking about being a worker bee for someone else, because again, they are determining your value. If you really want some game changing, wealth, you're going to have to think outside the box. You're going to have to go get it yourself. You know what I mean? Get something for yourself. Of course, you can still, keep your job. And by the way, this isn't financial advice. It's just me, having a little money talk, telling y'all about what's going on with me and what I think about some of these articles I come across. And if you need financial advice, please go out and seek it. But anyway, back to the money talks. So you have to think like a boss and think of ways to make that extra money, that passive income, or start your own. Well, let's go down the rest of the steps. Step 2, pick your wealth building strategy. So whatever it is to build wealth, there's a whole lot of different ways to build wealth. You can And a lot of times it just takes a little passive income and you can start accumulating wealth. So they listed a couple ways that you can start passive income. They listed you can start blogging, you can start YouTube, you can start ebooks. I know a lot of people that write their own books and sell them. That's pretty dope. And YouTube, of course, you already know I went that route, but that wasn't the reason I started my YouTube channel. Wasn't for money at the time. Then online courses. If you teach something or you do something that's somebody needs to know or wants to learn, like you play an instrument, you can teach courses. You can offer courses. You can offer courses on a lot of different things. A lot of people do. That's a way to generate some passive income. And if you have that passive income and you know what to do with that passive income, you can, have that snowball effect and gain some wealth. You can have vending machines. Oh yeah, vending machines and ATMs. I know a guy, man, he is always out there selling, setting up his ATMs and vending machines and coin pushers. I follow him on YouTube and he's pretty dope. But those are different ways for you to gain wealth and passive income. You can even invest into real estate property. You can rental properties in particular, like getting duplexes, so you can have, multiple tenants, multiple property, family home. Multiple family properties. So you can get multiple streams of income coming from one actual house or one property. I've seen that too. I know a lot of people that do that, try to find duplexes and places like that they can rent out to several different tenants so they can have multiple streams of income coming to them. Like I said, all of it is primarily about making sure you have different streams of income. As I said, your side hustle or whatever you do on the side, I've had this video about side hustles before. If you haven't checked out my side hustle video that I did with Angie, man, you need to check it out. And of course, I think you gotta subscribe for that. You do. But hey, it was awesome information in that. But your side hustle doesn't have that ceiling that your primary job has. Again, when you're working for someone, they are determining how much you'll work. But your side hustle, that's on you. You determine how much you're gonna make. Depends on, how much work you put in and how many people actually like whatever you're doing. That side hustle can actually turn into your main hustle, main business if you wanted to, but that doesn't have that same ceiling like your 9-to-5 job does. So it's good to have your side hustle on the side and make as much as possible, grind it out. But they had a whole lot of, and I'm taking a lot of things from the article, but my words. But they had a lot of things and it was mainly about making sure that you had some type of passive income or something on the side that can make you money. Step 3, start your real education. Start your real education. That's deep right there. So a lot of people, we went to school, right? We go to grade school and we learn stuff, but it says start your real education. You got to educate let me take you, I'm going to break it down just a little bit. I ain't going to dwell on it too much. This is, of course, won't in the article, but when we go to school and stuff, they program us to be part of the system. The government wants the government to work, right? They want the middle class to be able to work, right? If too many people elevate to the point that, they're rich, who's going to work? So they make sure they program us to get out here in the workforce and make sure we do the things we need to do to make sure our country works or our government works, which is nothing wrong with that. But you need to know that that's what it is. So when you go to school, they're teaching you to be part of the society, the network. They're not teaching you how to elevate and get out of whatever your class is. You know, they're not teaching you how to get rich, because if you're rich, what part of the system will you be in? It's undefined. But if they can program you to go to that middle class and be a working part of the system, hey, that's just my thought on that. But again, I'm going off the article. The article was like, make sure you start your real education, and self-education is good. I know a lot of times we like to read books on how to gain wealth and finance. I know I do. I like to educate myself too. And I'm about to start another venture. I've been looking at these courses, and you know, especially so I can stay well versed to bring that good information to you guys. I like to better myself and read up on things and stay on top of things too. But they say also make sure that you balance it with learning things and actually having real life experience, like a real life community. So make sure you start going to those chat rooms or those Facebook groups and things like that, where people are actually talking about, you know, wealth. People are actually talking about how to do whatever it is you might go start, you know, to do your side hustle. Because one, you can make connections. You know, somebody might see you posting and they might actually have, you know, some input on whatever you're asking. You can ask questions and get feedback. And when you get feedback, you also can possibly build connections. That's the reason the internet and the web is out here, right? To build connections. Somebody might open the door for you, or like I said, you can just start networking and learn a lot more when you can ask questions and get something back. You can't get that from a book. You're gonna read the book. You're gonna take away whatever you take away from that book, but you can't ask the book questions. When you're in these groups and things like that, people with like-minded people that all think about money, finances, or think about whatever it is you're about to start, they're all like-minded. And again, you can ask someone a question and get a feedback that experience is, you know, worth it. So that's step 3. Step 4, pull the trigger on your business. So they say a lot of people always have a business idea, but a lot of times people be nervous to start it. So be that starting a business, to whatever side hustle you want to do, or YouTube or vlogging. Man, I know so many people, for example, that say they want to do a YouTube, do a podcast, and they talk about it, but it ain't nothing to do it. You just gotta do it, right? And of course, I'm talking about podcasting, because they actually you can make money off of blogs and podcasts and things like that. But whatever your business idea is, pull the trigger on it. Go ahead and start it. Start moving towards it. Of course, you probably in middle class, so you got to do your 9 to 5 or your day job. Don't quit your day job. Never quit that. But if you guys are like me, and I feel like once you start working a job and you work the job for years on years, it almost becomes you can work your job on autopilot. You know, of course it depends on what level you are on, what kind of responsibilities you have on your job. Because I know my job, man, they call me when I'm off. But anyway, whatever responsibilities you have on your job, even with those, if you've been doing it a while, you start to run on autopilot at your day-to-day, you know. And I'm not saying you're not doing your job or anything like that, but you know, you do it so much every day, you have you kind of become a zombie to the job. Think about how many times you drive in traffic to get to wherever you got to go for your job. Half the time, do you even remember the difference between the Monday and Wednesday? Do you remember? I know sometimes I don't. I'm like, dang, did I come through this traffic? Was it traffic on Monday? I can't remember. All the days run together, right? So I'm saying you have a lot of creativity. You have a lot of energy that probably could be used to do something else right there. You just got to utilize it and do it. You got to utilize and do it. So yeah, it says pull that trigger on that business. Go ahead and start. Step 5, constantly improve. Constantly improve your business. Make sure you constantly improve your business. So whatever you're doing, make sure you continue to grow it, especially if you want it to make more revenue or make more income. You got to continue to grow it. You have to. You got to keep working on it and grinding on it. Step 9, put your business on autopilot. So in this mode, they say make sure that you, whatever you're doing, you try to find a way to make it passive. Try to make it so it's autopilot. For example, if you're selling things, try to find something online where you don't got to do all that work. Try to make your business autopilot. This also could mean, like, if you are doing the whole real estate thing, hire a property manager to collect your rent, so you don't got to do it anymore. If you are on YouTube and you become big, you could hire writers to script your videos. Hire people to edit your videos, things like that. Whatever it is, once you become an expert at it, whatever your side hustle is, find a way to make it, put it on autopilot so you can have that going, and then you can go out here and do something else that gains you more income. Gives you a little more time to go out there and find something else. So you'll have that stream of income going, and then you'll still have your middle class income going if you ain't quit it already, because you've been booming. But you can have multiple streams of income going. That is the key. Multiple streams of income is the key to getting out of middle class. That's my take right there. And number 7, the last step, is expand your empire. So once you put it on autopilot again, and you went through this and you have gained a side hustle or whatever, something turned into a main hustle, a business, whatever, expand it. Keep growing, keep growing, keep growing. Just keep grinding and growing your business. At the end of the day, you are going to be putting something together for yourself. Remember how I was talking about, like, when you work for someone else, they're telling you what your value is. When you're building something for yourself, you determine the value. And that is key. So that's the wrap up their list. That was a dope article. I like the article, and I hope it's maybe inspired something in you guys, or you took a little something away from this video, this podcast, because I do think a lot of people are stuck in that middle class, and sometimes it can feel, repetitive and unnecessary. And some people even, become grumpy and things like that because they feel stuck and trapped in the middle class, and they want to elevate. If you want to elevate, you're going to have to learn some things. You're going to have to make sure you educate yourself and learn how to do some things. I, myself, it took me a while to want to create passive income. It started with investing. I learned how to, create passive income with investing. And then, after reading and learning a few things, it hit me that if I want to get out of middle class, I'm going to have to do more than just my 9 to 5. I'm going to have to do more and want more than just, to retire with a 401k, to have a good, stable, consistent job, and that's it. At one point, that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. Get a good job, get a 401k, and wait for retirement. I'm good. All I gotta do is put X amount of years in whatever place. I don't have a problem with it. that's because I elevated where I elevated from. I elevated from the lower class, and then I elevated to middle class, and I almost got content. And okay, it's cool. It's fine for anybody that is content with just being middle class. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to build wealth and build a legacy, you should never get too content. You should always want to learn and grow. It's human nature. Human nature. You should always want to learn, grow, and build upon whatever it is you're doing. And it took me a minute to realize that, like, all right, cool, I landed a decent job, I'm straight, my family's straight, I can take care of my home, but that's all. You got to stay hungry. And that, we're gonna have another video coming out soon about mindsets. It's all about your mindset. You should want more for yourself. I had a drastic mindset change. A change in my mindset around 29, 30. Like I said, I had a drastic change in my mindset. I no longer just wanted to be content, because at the end of the day, why? Why can't you be rich? Why can't you elevate? You should always ask that. You deserve it. I think you deserve it. I think you deserve your piece of the pie. So that's it for this one. Make sure you guys come back and see me. Appreciate it. Peace.